Everyone's out here trying to build the next AI company, and I get it. There's Claude Code, there's OpenClaw, there's all these different AI wrappers. That's the coolest, sexy thing right now. The truth is the people printing the most money are the ones running these boring old school businesses which don't even need AI. These old school businesses are the ones no one talks about. They show up at your door, they show up to fix your driveway, they show up to fix your kitchen and clean your kitchen. These are the sleepy background industries that simply print money. And there's a wave of businesses starting right now, today, and people are starting these old school boring businesses who are absolutely gonna crush the competition and dominate the local market. Now, there's 5 main models which I think are gonna absolutely explode this year, and I'm gonna talk to you exactly about why and how to get in early. So, my quick background, my name is Neil. I run Made This franchise. I spent the last 13 years in these boring old school cleaning space, right? I run a remote cleaning company called Made This, which has around 40 locations right now. Before this, I started in private equity and finance. I was doing tech investment, software, all that kind of good stuff. And I realized there's actually way more money to be made in these sleepy home service business models. There's actually one major tailwind causing the explosion of what I'm about to tell you, which is the Gen Z and millennial ethos around doing work around their home yourself. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but at least my parents' generation, they'd say, no, I'm just gonna fix it myself, I'll do it myself. I don't know how to fix my things myself. This is a cultural change. Millennials and Gen Z are the as-a-service generation. They will pay for everything as a service. Uber is an as-a-service type of thing. Cleaning is an as-a-service type of thing. This is an entire cultural shift. And most people in the Gen Z and millennial population, they have dual incomes, they have more disposable income, they're staying at home more, they're having remote work. Because of that, they're willing to spend money on services, and this is causing an insane boom in the home service market. So one of these home service industries, which I think is about to explode, is smart home setup for seniors. It's expected that 200 million home devices are going to be set up for like smart home type devices in the US, which is up 60% from 2023. The reason is there's a massive baby boomer generation which is aging. Most of them actually want to age in place, meaning they're going to want to stay at home and have in-home healthcare and all that kind of stuff. Because of that, they just got to get up to speed with their home for cameras and security systems. I know this myself because my mom is about 71 years old. She lives alone now, and I wanted to install home monitoring services for like Ring cameras everywhere. It was so freaking hard to find someone to do this. I can go on Thumbtack and find a random person to do it, but do I really want a random person to set up a security device system for my elderly mother? Probably not. There's a huge lack of professional companies to do this. It's pretty simple. We set it up for, let's say, $600 to $1,000 for all the equipment as well as services. That's a Ring camera, home monitoring system, security system, whatever for seniors. They're never gonna do it themselves. They need someone to do it. The thing is, the kids, who are probably older millennials, are the ones who are going to be paying for it and understand the need for it. So this is going to get set up, and then you simply charge a $600 to $1,200 per year recurring membership just to maintain it. This is an absolutely booming industry. It's only going to get bigger as the baby boomers start to get older, and they can't do this tech stuff by themselves. All right, this next one might be the most invisible business on the list. This is commercial hood cleaning. So in most restaurants, in the US at least, there's commercial hoods over the stoves that capture all the smoke and all that kind of stuff. Every restaurant in the US legally is required every 3 to 6 months to clean the hood above the grill. There's hood cleaning companies which exist, which will come in at nighttime and clean the hoods, usually between $300 to $600 per hood. For some of these larger commercial kitchens, think of like a PF Chang's or Cheesecake Factory, it's probably gonna be about $1,500 per hood. These are contracts, right? These are typically 3-year contracts. So if you get in with a restaurant, you can clean their hoods every 3 to 6 months on contract for 3 years. It's easy, it's at nighttime, it's invisible money no one even thinks about, but this is one of those sneaky industries that I actually love. Now, I know of a franchise in the space called The Hood Guys that specialize in this exactly. They teach you how to get contracts, how to actually clean the hoods, all that kind of good stuff, but there's a lot of opportunity in this industry because it's so fragmented. So definitely love commercial hood cleaning. This next one's kind of gross, but that's kind of the reason why it's gonna crush it this year, which is crime scene cleanup. If you're thinking about it thinking, ew, gross, that's exactly why this is a big niche, because most people don't want to do it. Now, I have a friend named Laura who runs a company called Spalding Decon. It's a franchise company which does crime scene cleanup. She was telling me more about this service. Now, the average ticket's anywhere between $3,000 to $10,000 per cleanup. Now, crime scene cleanup doesn't just mean like murder victims and you're cleaning out blood. It could mean that. It could also mean like quarter houses or meth houses or things like that, which require specialized equipment. And once you clean these things up, it costs a lot of money because they're not gonna be able to find anyone else to actually clean it out. Can't call a normal cleaning company and be like, hey, there's like a dead body on the street, can you please clean this up? It doesn't exist. Or a meth lab or whatever it is. So because of this, this industry is booming because it's needed and there's not many players doing this. Everything's very fragmented. And if you're the type of person who's willing to do this, even hire out to find the actual labor to do it, you can make a killing. Laura, the person I know, is able to get some of her businesses from $0 to $1 million in a year, just because the ticket value is so high and there's not too much competition. So this is industry I think is gonna absolutely crush it this year. There's a couple franchises in the space. There's one called Bio1 and another one called Spalding Decon, who both service this industry. All right, so if you look at like the Inc. 5000 list or any of these magazine publications of entrepreneur, whatever, they always say, hey, the #1 AI-proof industry to get into this year is gonna be something in the trades, right? They'll say like plumbing or HVAC and stuff. Those industries have a really big problem. For every one person who leaves the industry in terms of skilled trades, only 0.6 enter the industry. Meaning, even if you start this business, it's gonna be really hard to actually find labor. Now, there's one niche, which I know very well, which doesn't have this problem, which is still in the trades and labor type of industry, which is remote cleaning. Now, I've had my own remote cleaning company for 13 years now, run it completely remotely. I'm in Rwanda right now, managing my local operation, which is in Los Angeles. We have about 40 branches, locations running this exact model. The way it works is simple. You have your cleaners go straight from their home to the job site. Historically, this has never been possible because you needed an office space with equipment. You'd have to give everyone a schedule in person. Now with technology, that's not needed. You could ship supplies from Amazon straight to the cleaner's home. They have their own vehicle to get to the job, which you reimburse them for. You could coordinate everything with text and AI. I even have offshore talent to help service local operations. So a customer calls in, he goes to my team in South Africa, routes to my team in Latin America. You could have the entire world servicing your local operation. The reason why this is gonna boom this year is because of that one trend I mentioned. Gen Z millennials will spend a stupid amount of money on convenience. And the biggest convenience is when things get dirty and you gotta clean it. This is a $90 billion plus industry, which is expected to climb every single year. So if you get in early right now, you could dominate the competition because there's not a single company which owns more than 1% of the market share. What we're doing here at Made This is we're helping people build a remote cleaning company. They could travel the world if they want, or they could stay in their hometown. They could have more time with their kids, whatever they want. But having a remote cleaning company is a much leaner way to have higher profit margins in the cleaning business and take advantage of all the technology going on right now. This next niche, which I actually love, is something from a story a buddy of mine told me. Shout out to Sean right now. Sean, my buddy, was in Vegas. He got hammered one night and he woke up, he had to get a flight the next day, and he was so hungover and he looked online and found a mobile IV clinic. And he literally booked online in bed, and a nurse came out within like 30 minutes and gave him IV fluids. And the IV fluid, it had like all these great minerals and stuff like that, but also just hydration. And they plugged it into him and gave him liquid hydration, and he felt better. Got on his flight and he was good. The person charged him $200 for that service, which he said was totally worth it because he felt like death. And on top of it, they actually asked him for a tip on top of that too. So think about it, it was about $200 for about a 15-minute service from a 1099 contractor nurse who came out to help him out. This industry is something which has not really been around for that long. Well, people haven't thought about it, but it's booming. Imagine a market like Vegas or Nashville or Austin, which are like party towns. People want this type of service because no one likes feeling hungover. Even in like health and wellness, this is starting to become a much bigger industry where people will pay for luxury goods like mobile hydration, and that way they can feel better about themselves because they're being healthier. This works for bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, bar areas, places like Vegas. It's just fantastic and bolting on to the big health and wellness trend which is happening right now with people who have disposable income. Every business on this list has the same memo, which is they're serving a fragmented market, it's low cost to get in, has high upside, and they're riding one of the biggest tailwinds in this generation, which is people will pay for convenience and people are staying home a lot more. Based off of that, these 4 businesses are gonna absolutely explode in this next year. If you could get in early, you could dominate your local market and make a ton of money, way more than these splashy AI startups happening. I know that because, again, we have 40 franchise locations doing this exact same model of remote cleaning. But the truth is there's a lot of different models which could help you start with the low cost and actually make a lot of money. Check out these 4 industries and check out Made This if you're interested to learn more about franchising as well.